Welcome to my live broadcast. I wanted to start, a frequent live session where we get to talk about superheroes, especially the latest developments that are occurring. So it depends also which part of the world are you from. I see one viewer, uh, Mimo83. Halla, 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 Habibi. How are you, man? How's everything? Nice to see you. Nice to see you, bro. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining my live broadcast. And I think you're the only one who liked it. You're the first one to join in. I'm really delighted for that. Uh, so, ready for Comic Con Arabia, Mimo? So, in today's live broadcast, I'm going to be talking about not Comic Con Arabia, the guests that have been announced till now. Please don't mind the sound behind me. It's raining here where I am in Jeddah. Mimo, if you're in Jeddah, I'm sure you're enjoying the rain. So let's just start out with a casual discussion. I mean, ask me anything about it. What's the topic that you want me to talk about? Because we've got Spider-Man 2 game that has been launched. And also, I mean, I don't know if you have been following my recent posts because I have been given the opportunity to represent. You're ready. You are ready. Yeah, share. Allah. Your comment made my day, man. So, Mimo, do you have my promo codes for Noon and Namshi? Because there's a lot of superhero stuff that's available. Alhamdulillah, I've been named there on Noon. So, please bear with me. So, did you get a chance to look around these listings on Noon and Namshi? Because quite a lot of interesting stuff. Plus, we are having Comic Con Arabia that's going to take place on 30th of November. So, and Mimo, I think the last time you did Winter Soldier cosplay, I confused you with one of my followers on Instagram because his name is also Mimo. My apologies, brother. My apologies. God bless you, man. I mean, like, community members like you are the reason that I feel motivated to talk about superheroes. It's been this year has been I'll be completing my 6th year talking about superheroes, and it has been an amazing journey thanks to people like yourself, and especially you, Mimo. It's a bit difficult for me because the display picture I uh, doesn't allow me to recall. And when looked at your name, Mimo, I thought there's another community member, Mimo, who dressed up as the Winter Soldier in last year's Comic Con Arabia and Stanley Supercon. Really awesome cosplayer. I hope you've seen that. So, Mimo, tell me something, man. I mean, let's talk superheroes. This is the purpose of this live broadcast. Uh, so, let's discuss something, man. So much is happening. What have you been up to lately? What are you watching? Are you watching Justice League animated series? What have you been up to? Okay. Okay, this is all done. You have slow mode chat turned on, so I'm unable to post my replies fast. Okay, let me just fix that. My apologies. How do I change this? Pop out chat, participants, moderation activity. Okay. No, 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 no. Yeah. Customization, live chat reply, slow mode. Okay. No, khalas. Thank you for your patience. I've removed slow mode. So, Mimo, let the discussion begin. I've watched literally everything. Yesterday, I finished Attack on Titans, an amazing 10-year run. Lots of good memories. A lot of people, man, Attack on Titan has been one of the best ever content that has been produced. And no doubt, I mean, the fan base, if they are feeling happy about it, I really am like happy for them, because this is just you know seeing people happy in this day and age. It's just it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing. Okay, still on the fence regarding season 2 of Loki and Invincible. Okay, why are you on the fence when it comes to Loki? That's what I want to understand, because Loki season 2 is much better compared to compared to season 1. It's turning out to be much better. It still has uh, the the intrigue, if you will. Hmm. Mimo, are you there? We have another viewer. My way was more cohesive in terms of storytelling. Yes, I agree with you, because uh, in my opinion, I felt it was a huge drag. I mean, that story could have been told in 3 episodes instead of 6, because things got really exciting when we reached episode 6, and I think episode 5, if I remember correctly. Uh, so, okay, I have another viewer, but I can't seem to see the name. Please join me in the chat. Let's talk superheroes. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Did you have a chance to read the Variety magazine articles? Yes, yes, I did. I did read the entire article. But funny thing is that I had predicted, in a way, 1 year ago when this article had published. I don't know if I can share my video link here, because the way things were, like, the way things were being executed at Marvel Studios, it was looking very bleak to me uh, a year ago. And now, when I saw the Variety article, I was like, because there are a lot of troubles that are plaguing Marvel. It's not just about pushing so much so fast. Quality content is the key. If the content has the quality, if it respects the character, if it respects the audience, that who are the fans of that particular character, the content will sell. Yes, people might feel fatigued in a way that, okay, there is so much coming in, but the excitement level is going to go through the roof. It's I mean, look, ever since Endgame, the only good that has come out of Marvel Studios is Spider-Man, No Way Home, WandaVision, Moon Knight. That's about it. All the other series or the movies that came in were unbearable to watch. Yeah. In fact, I recently learned that they even, when Marvel Studios had started out, before Disney had bought them, I think it was until 2012 or 15, I think, there used to be a committee which would have Marvel writers, artists who co-created the characters, who have written extensively, and they would be looking at the scripts, and then they would say that, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why? Because the character is like this. So it's, and then next thing you know, when Kevin Feige had its way and he got Ike Perlmutter fired from Disney. First he got him sidelined, then he got him fired, and just things just went downhill from there. Ike Perlmutter, I don't have a lot of good opinions about the guy, who, because he was uh, the owner of Marvel before Disney bought it from him. But the thing is, there was a lot he was doing good as well in terms of content production. I remember that. No one is talking about that nowadays. I totally remember the committee. Yeah. So you remember that, and I guess that was the reason why we had some of the best movies ever, and not only just from Marvel Studios, but whatever was being produced by the Sony studios and Fox Studios, who were having X-Men and so forth. So okay, and now what else have you been up to, Mimo? Did you get a chance to play Spider-Man 2 on PS5? Did you get a chance to watch Justice League animated series on Netflix, because it's available in Saudi Arabia? Inshallah, I hope you get to play it soon because the reviews I'm getting are amazing. I haven't had the chance to play myself because I don't have PS5. I have to buy PS5 console first so that I can play. Okay, you are one of the few who like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Amazing characters. She Hulk herself is a very good character, but sadly, they ruined her in the MCU. It's preposterous, completely preposterous. It's completely preposterous. I have okay, so I see most things faster. Yeah, a lot of people are doing the same thing. A lot of people are doing the same thing. A lot of people are doing the same thing. Now, how do I get the share link? I can't. Oh yeah, there it is. Let me just. Okay. Oh man. Those Arabic reprints of DC comics were amazing, man. I remember the issue of Superman versus Superboy, which was written by John Byrne, and illustration was done by John Byrne as well. Man, you took me back. Oh boy, oh boy, Habibi. DC DC Comics, man, 1980s DC Comics, some of the best stories. Crisis on Infinite Earths, uh, Teen Titans by George Perez and Marv Wolfman. So many. I think it's looking very likely that it's going to be Court of Owls because the kind of suspense and the thriller effect that's there in the Batman by Matt Reeves. If it happens, I think this would be like one of the best ever movies we've ever seen. And I hope Matt Reeves is like, doesn't overdo Batman like he did in the last 15 minutes of his Batman movie. And I think I think uh, there's a lot of good that has come out of the Batman movie. In And a lot of people don't like Robert Pattinson, but I really like him uh, as an actor. He's an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor, and his performance was good. I didn't like Jeffrey Wright's performance, even though he's my favorite actor, and especially, I mean, I really admire his voice in What If series. But for some reason, he overdid his role in the Batman. One other thing was Are you following updates of Comic Con Arabia, Mimo? Mimo, are you there? Hello? Not really. Okay. Okay. Do you like Stephen Amell? I see. I see. Do you know Stephen Amell from Arrow? He's coming to Jeddah. And do you know comic book artist Chad Harden? Hi, welcome to another viewer. I don't know who you are, so please join me in the chat. We are having a really good discussion about superheroes and the current developments that are taking place both here in Saudi Arabia as well as outside in the worldwide scenario. We have Mimo with me, who has been kind enough to join in. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I'm glad that you got this news from me. Uh, I'll be back after the short break. I'll just stay online and let me try to gather more. Let me inform more members of our community. We are. I'm really enjoying this session. A story like Crisis on Infinite Earths can be done in a TV series much better, not in a movie, because you cannot. You know the build up to the Crisis on Infinite Earths. It requires a great deal of content before the actual event, and then when you're producing the content for the actual event, you cannot finish it in one movie. And it's like, the way they had divided Infinity War and then they did Endgame. So Crisis on Infinite Earths would require, in my opinion, a trilogy, just to complete the entire story. TV series are in a much better in a much better position to basically do all of to adapt a particular story. I checked out some of the episodes. The fundamental premise, the approach was good, but some of the things, like, I just don't agree with what's going on in Hollywood these days about not focusing much on the superheroes and rather than their orientation and these things. So, but yes, I agree with you that the CW series did a much better job compared to the DCEU or Warner Studios, who can make a movie, who have the budget and everything, but for some reason they just don't have the willingness to go for it. Viewer number two, please join us in the chat. We are having a very good discussion here, and Your presence is going to take this live session to a whole new level. Do you have a favorite comic run? For the longest time, mine was Kingdom Come. I have the Absolute Edition since I loved it so much. Okay, I have. It's This run was 8 years long. It was in. It was done by Marvel, uh, and the guy behind the brains was Brian Michael Bendis, which started with Avengers disassembled, and it ended with Siege. It was For me, it's my favorite run because in this run, hey, Pilot Abu, welcome to my live broadcast. So this 8 year run had a lot of important storylines within them and involving a lot of our favorite characters, not just the Avengers but also the X-Men, also the Fantastic Four. The climax or the peak of this came with Secret Invasion crossover, and my god, was that the best ever crossover I've ever read. And the series that has been produced by Marvel Studios is really bad, really really bad. So that has been my favorite run. It started in 2004, um, I think 2004 2005, and it continued till 2012 with Avengers versus the X-Men. Warner Studios has a cultural problem, and I think they were having some issues with Zack Snyder with his personality, I think. Uh, and Can you bring my phone, please? Yeah. So it was more to do about the personality, and his personality uh, clashed with the powers that be. And there is another problem with Warner Brothers is the fact that it's not just Zack Snyder. They don't let people like Jeff Johns to, lead the project. And right now they have James Gunn. James Gunn has a lot of good qualities, but the problem is that he just makes a comedy out of everything. So this is what it is. Yeah, it's just a lot could have been achieved, a lot could have been done. Uh, the way Zack Snyder was trying to build the DCEU, it could have been one of the best. But there is another thing that, basically what happens is that what happens is that uh, Zack Snyder drags sometimes, and that really leads to some boredom. Yeah, don't need to be comedy to be good, I agree. Yes, I have seen the trailer, and I have been watching the reviews of Spider-Man 2 video game, but uh, I'm trying to avoid the spoilers, because this is a game I really want to play, because of the fact that Craven's last hunt, because Craven the Hunter is in this game. And as a fan of Craven's last hunt storyline in Spider-Man, I really want to experience this story. And so I'm not like watching the reviews and the gameplays because it's going to ruin my excitement. So I'll be waiting to get it get the console and be able to play and then experience it myself. But from what I'm hearing, oh boy, Spider-Man 2, they're saying it's one of the best games ever. Let's see how true it is. Because Craven the Hunter is in this game, and as a fan of so Zack Snyder like then 3 plus hours movie. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't mind the 3 plus hour movies uh, because the thing is, I mean, like there are some things that get dragged. Like for example, when you watch Justice League Snyder cut, uh, the fight scene between uh, the Wonder Woman's family, the Thermoscarians, between Dark Side, I forget, Steppenwolf's forces. That could have been finished in 7 minutes. Instead, it went on for more than 10 minutes, and that music, and it gets you in your head. Yeah, Amazonians and Steppenwolf. It, I mean, it becomes really, really unbearable. It really becomes unbearable. So, but some of the good things that he did uh, in that movie, like even though Jared Leto was there for like few minutes in the post credit scene, that was really good. That was really good, showing Deathstroke. Even like the way he uh, uh, brought back Jesse Eisenberg in Lex Luthor role. Uh, Jesse Eisenberg was in a much better gave a much better performance in that very small scene than compared to what he did with Batman versus Superman. And the kind of a world we are living in, unfortunately, we all, most of us, find ourselves in the minority because people are just like they just want to they are looking for comedy in everything. They want to see comedy in politics, so that's why we have these talk show hosts who are talking about politics instead of comedy. And um, uh, even when it comes to superheroes, these guys are expecting a comedy series or a comedy production or a comedy content that just does not work well. And when you try to talk to people to tell them that what's the kind of thing you're missing, like for example, uh, this is just one shelf I have for comics, and I think these are mostly, yeah, Avengers comics mostly. Okay, this is representing 20 years, and the history of Marvel is 80 years, and not the entirety, by the way. This is like some of the greatest hits from the last 20 or 30 years that's there. And so much of good storytelling is there, but people, they just don't want to read whatever they want to watch. They just like they need comedy. They just need comedy, and I just don't understand. Maybe it's the times we are in, uh, the kind of times we are in right now, where there is so much depression, anxiety, where there is so much hatred and stuff, and anywhere you look, if you turn on the TV, most of the time you find negativity there. So maybe people are just is trying to escape it and looking for comedic stuff. I watched Blue Beetle movie. Now, the good thing about the Blue Beetle movie was it had Ted Cord, it had Dan Garrett. This is the quality that I like. This is the thing that I appreciate about James Gunn, that he basically covers the entire history of a particular superhero team. He tries to absorb as many characters from a particular universe. But the movie was not about the Blue Beetle. It was about his family, and especially his nana and his uncle. I am interested in the Blue Beetle. I like Jaime Reyes. I love the character as much as I love Ted Cord, as much as I love Dan Garrett. Even though full disclosure, I haven't had the chance to read any story about Dan Garrett from the Golden Age. The Last Man. Okay, okay. So you've read that also. Very good choice, I might add. Very good choice, I might add. Reading is quite essential because, the other day, I'll tell you a funny story. I think yesterday or day before, I get a call from one of my relatives, and he says that, I've watched Secret Invasion, and I don't know why you were so much against it. Why were you talking bad about it? I asked him a simple question. I said, did you read the Secret Invasion crossover that was published by Marvel in 2008? Have you ever read that? Do you know the characters that were involved? He said, no, I don't know anything about what was published in comics, because the series was is quite okay for me, so I don't need to do that. I said, ha, that's your mistake, because you just don't realize what have you missed. And Secret Invasion in Marvel Comics is unbelievable. Just like you said few minutes ago, Mimo, that I've got viewers right now joining me for my live broadcast. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining in, and please join me in the chat. Share your questions, anything you want to discuss, because this is about talking about superheroes. So, anyways, Mimo, when you were saying that you liked Crisis on Infinite Earths adaptation on the CW series, which is good, but it cannot come close to what was done in comics. Those issues were monumental. I remember that I was in 1985, I think I was 6 years old. I think I was 6 years old. Yeah. So I could literally feel that something big is being done by DC Comics, and I have some issues, comic book issues from that particular era. When you look at the ads, when you look at because in those days, the fans would write letters to DC Comics, and they would be printed at the back of the comic in the last few pages, and you could, feel the essence of it. That this is like something really exciting, and this is something that needs to be looked into. This is something that I need to collect. You'll be surprised that whatever I missed in the 80s, when I went to UK to study, I made sure that I collected as many comics as I could. Oh, Mimo, you just mentioned House of M. You are so right. You are so right. You are so right. And you are right the way they are going to be treating the mutants. I don't know what they are going to do with Wolverine. It's just it's did you come across the news what they were trying to do with Blade? Okay, from what I have read, the team that got fired for Blade, what they were planning was that in the Blade movie, the lead character will not be Blade. It would be three women, one his mother, one his daughter, and I don't know, maybe the last lady would be her. I don't know. And they would be actually teaching Blade lessons of life. Blade is the daywalker, the vampire slayer. We have seen the movies that were done by Wesley Snipes. The best adaptation, I think. It set the standard of how superheroes need to be, their stories need to be adapted in movies. Imagine that this was Marvel Studios' plan. And according to reports, I don't know how far are they true or not, when Kevin Feige, yes, yes, exactly, that's the same point. When Kevin Feige learned about what they were planning to do uh, with Blade, Kevin Feige is known to be a cool person. And there are very few times where people have seen him actually yell at someone. And he yelled. Well, you are having hopes from Deadpool 3. If you ask me, I don't have any hope from Marvel Studios. What I have hopes from is something that's a little bit negative, but that's the only way to bring any organization back to its senses. And that is that Disney is on the verge of recording a loss of $1 billion. 1 billion, not million, $1 billion. In the year when it's celebrating its 100th anniversary, we might be seeing, we might be coming across this news that Disney has suffered $1 billion loss. Okay. How is that going to happen? Because the Marvels is going to be released. Today is November 6th. It's going to get released on November 10th. Expectations are that it's going to flop because what they have been doing with Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, they did good with Monica Rambeau and WandaVision, but these two ladies that are there, I mean, nothing good has come about. The movie doesn't seem exciting at all. The trailer is very, it's cringe to watch. So, uh, if Disney suffers $1 billion loss, a lot of people are going to get fired from Marvel Studios. A lot of people are going to get fired. Uh, yeah, that's the approach. Yes, that's the good approach that you have, Nemo. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I think this is something. This is a very valuable lesson of life. Nah, Habibi, this loss that I'm talking to you about has nothing to do with COVID. Uh, it has to do, like you said, with Disney Plus. Why? Because people have unsubscribed from Disney Plus. They're saying, why am I paying money to Disney for content that I don't like She Hulk? This loss, $1 billion loss, is from 2022. Sorry, from January 2023 till December 2023. So COVID was there. Yes, there are after effects of COVID. There are other market dynamics, but primarily in this year, when we are talking about from January 2023 till December 2023, these losses are now going to compound and go up to $1 billion. I agree with you that yes, COVID did a lot of damage to their parks and stuff and everything, but the, Disney is used to be a house of ideas, They taught the world how to create content. Walt Disney, especially. And if they don't know their own gig, nobody else can help them. Okay, this is the latest post about Comic Con Arabia. Bara is going to be the MC, just like last year. No, the leak started with the Variety article, but then a lot of other news media outlets, the Hollywood Reporter, and so many others, they uh, basically pitched in because people are just going crazy. People are just, they just can't believe what's going on in Disney, and how could Disney be this incompetent, if you will. So you didn't miss any leak. First of all, the Variety article is a very detailed, comprehensive article, but obviously you can check out other news media sites, entertainment news media sites, like I mentioned, the Hollywood Reporter, Vulture magazine. uh, Comic book resources is not going to tell you the exact story because they are agenda driven, and they have been the biggest cheerleaders of Disney, uh, especially with all the bad content that's being rolled out by Disney for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Okay, Pilot Abu, how's Twitch? Twitch, I haven't been able to uh, focus on much, sadly, because of time, and obviously I want to play some more new games, new superhero games like the Midnight Suns and Marvel Spider-Man. So until I get those, I will be starting to rebroadcast, because I tried to broadcast some other games that were on smartphone games, like Marvel Snap and so many others, but I just didn't. It just didn't catch up with me. I'm not a phone gaming guy. I like console gaming. Oh yes, yes, Mimo. You're right about comic book resources. Very, very bad uh, when it comes to the articles. Comic book resources used to be one of the best sites. Uh, I love Sci-Fi Wire YouTube channel. I loved CBR for the articles and the list and the rankings that they used to have. But now it's just like, I don't know what these guys, on which planet these guys are living in. What are they thinking? Who? It's just weird. It's just weird. Plain and simple. It's just weird. It's just weird. Sorry, guys. I just need to um answer this question, and there's a query. Thank you for your patience, Mimo and Pilot Abu. So that's one of the things. Okay, Mimo, I have to ask you a question. Do you know about this comic book artist, Chad Hardin? Habibi, don't say that you're a slow writer, because mashallah, you write good, very good. And yes, definitely, I also want to do meet and greet, but unfortunately, it's, some of the things that are out of my control always get in the way. But I will first of all love your last chat message about the meet and greet, because definitely I really look forward to having meet and greet with all my brothers and sisters from the geek community. I used to do events till last year, but unfortunately the response wasn't that good. But it's worth a try once again, because by the end of the day, there are a lot of superhero fans here in Jeddah. There are a lot of superhero fans here in Riyadh and in Khobar and Mecca, Medina, Taif, yani, even in Bureda. And all of these boys and girls, we all need to get together, because we share a lot of interesting hobbies between us. Some of us are comic book collectors like me, some of us are action figures collectors, statue collectors. I wish my dear brother Sultan had joined me from Riyadh, because he is the owner of Saudi Arabia's first ever comic book store, physical brick and mortar comic book store in Riyadh, and I had the chance to visit his store in June. Amazing person, and the store he has is just amazing. Khalid, oh, Alhamdulillah. So Mimo, Pilot Abu, and now Khalid. I'm so delighted. And I see more of my community members joining in. William Ruffin, my brother from Dubai. Oh boy, I am on a roll. I am so happy right now to see all of you guys on my live broadcast, starting with Mimo, then Pilot Abu, then Khalid, and then William. Guys, God bless you for joining the live broadcast. It has been a very good discussion. If you can go through the chat, you can see Mimo has been a very good, how should I say, observer when it comes to the trends and the things that are going on. I hope someday we'll have a real comic book shop in Jeddah. I really miss those places. Yeah, yeah, man. Yes, yes. Mimo, we were this close to having a comic book store in Jeddah back in 2018. You want to know the story about it? William, we will love to meet you, bro. We will love to meet you. We're just waiting for you to be here. Okay. Regarding Chad Harden, I'm sorry I keep cutting you off. I know him on a surface level. Okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it, man. We're just here to talk, have a good discussion, share valuable information. Uh, William, read what Khalid is saying. Read his message. Okay. Uh, okay. So first thing is, Chad Harden is the artist who has worked on Harley Quinn comics with two legendary writers, Amanda Connor and Jim Palmiotti, husband and wife, very good writers, and his art for Harley Quinn has been one of the most favorite for every fan here. Okay, William, there's already a request for you to come and attend Comic Con Arabia. That's happening on November 30th. Khalid has sent a special message, and you see how much people love you for it. Okay, now Mimo, you here's the story. The story goes, in Saudi Comic Con 2018, I came across a wonderful chap. His name is Ali. I forgot his full name, and he was selling comics, DC, Marvel, Valiant, Image, graphic novels, hardcover editions, you just name it. He had a collection. And he said that he is about to open a store by the name Hazali Comics. Uh, It was supposed to open on Hamad Al Jasser Street in Hayar Rauda. For 2, 3, 4 years, there was a board hanging on at the venue. Okay, Khalid, I'm going to come to your point. You raised a very shared a very interesting pop culture property. Anyways, so Mimo, for 2, 3 years, I think, or more, the board kept hanging, and anyone who was passing by on Hamad Al Jasser Street towards Sharasari, they could see the board of Hazali Comics. But in those days, the process wasn't clear, how to bring in books, how to get them approved from Wizat al-Alam, Ministry of Information, which is now Ministry of Media, and that idea never materialized. Okay. Uh, Khalid, you said X Files. Bro, X Files, for those of us who grew up in the 90s, how can we miss that show? It was, oh boy, man, it's one of the highlights of the 90s, especially when it comes to sci-fi. And yes, let's hope, I mean, these guys at Comic Con Arabia this year, their guest lineup is much improved compared to last year. But still, I mean, we need more uh, heavyweights. And like you mentioned, people from X Files are there. Okay, William, KSA reminds me so much of Wakanda. Well, you've been watching Neom's pictures, I guess, and I couldn't agree with you more. It's not by mistake that Black Panther was the first film. It wasn't a coincidence. Yes, yes, it wasn't a coincidence. Khalid, you found another fan of X Files. Nemo. It's Nemo. Okay, X Files was really, yes. X Files, man. Even though it has nothing to do with Marvel or DC, but X Files was something else. I first time I saw X Files was in 1994 when I was in the US. Yeah, Habibi. Oof. Khalid, you're a lucky dude, man. You're a really lucky dude. You met Gillian Anderson. Her. And yeah, she's really nice. And David Duchovny is also a very nice guy. Uh, and but I'm really happy for you that you got the chance to meet Gillian Anderson, because X Files is like, it reminds me of a sci-fi series we used to watch on Saudi Channel 2 in the mid 80s. Its name was Misfits of Science. Now I'm going to share a very interesting fact about that program, but before that, I want to know how many here are fans of Friends series, sitcom Friends. Ah, man, William, you're bringing back a lot of great memories, man. Yes, yes. Misfits of Science was the series that uh, gave Courtney Cox the popularity, but who knew she would end up being more popular because of a sitcom rather than a sci-fi series. So X Files basically reminds me of Misfits of Science, even though the plot is completely different. But yeah, Khalid, you are spot on, man. William, I'm more of a Seinfeld guy. Okay, for 10 years, I used to travel to Dubai for a couple of days just to watch movies in the cinema. Cinema was open in Jeddah, was the best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, man, everyone over here. And if I, which was my first ever superhero movie that I saw in a cinema here in Jeddah? I think it was Avengers Endgame. I think. Sliders, yes, on Saudi Channel too. I'm not a big Dune guy, but I'm sure Khalid and Mimo. I don't know about Pilot Abu. If you guys are into Dune, but Marvel did publish comics for Dune. That's another interesting fact. That's another interesting fact. I'm really happy to be with you guys, man. Captain Power and the soldiers of the future. William, you got another fan of Dune. His name is Khalid. Marvel also made for the love of Transformers. Yeah, William, you keep on just, taking us back to the beautiful memory lane. All of us grew up in the 80s. Man, that was the best year. Those were the best days of my life, the 1980s especially. All the cartoons and anime. Allah, 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 Allah. You know what I had for Captain Power? I had a set that had a gun, that had his helmet and his armor made of plastic. Man, Pilot Abu is a huge fan of Transformers and G.I. Joe. Amazing. Bionic 6, Grandizer, all these things. You remember, anyone over here remember Defenders of the Earth? Spiral Zone? Spider Man 1981 animated series, Spider Man and his amazing friends. Ah, Captain Power water gun. Woo! Uh, God bless you, William. I mean, like, God bless you, man. I mean, you just brought back a lot of sweet memories. Mimo brought back a lot of sweet memories. Khalid, each and every one of you, man. Visionaries, I never got the chance to watch Visionaries. I never got the chance to watch Visionaries. I know the Phantom from Defenders of the Earth. Okay. Uh, 1991. And I think it was Ramadan. Because in Ramadan, they used to show uh, a new series. Well, Defenders of the Earth was old in the world because it started in 88 or 89, I think, in the US. But here in Saudi Arabia, the first time it got broadcasted was in Ramadan 1991. The ghost who walks calls for the strength of 10 tigers. Phantom is very underrated, yes. I think, these characters like Flash Gordon, the Phantom, Mandrake, they didn't get the kind of publishing support that was available to them back in the golden age, and they never recovered from it ever since. But if people like Stanley were able to, Stanley was not a poet, but he wrote the lyrics of Defenders of the Earth intro. So I think they would have been in a much better place, because I still believe that I wish that DC or Marvel buy these properties and publish comics. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, things used to get here in Saudi Arabia in those days like 3 years late. Ah, William, you just keep, like, suggesting one great thing after another. Dick Tracy, oh boy, I love the Phantom cartoon so much, freaking much. Yeah. The ghost who walks calls for the strength of 10 tigers. In last year in Stanley's SuperCon, I got the chance to meet Sam Jones, the guy who played Flash Gordon in Flash Gordon movie. That's how close I got to the Defenders of the Earth. But one thing is, if there is one of the characters of Defenders of the Earth that I want to have an action figure of, I think it would be Phantom, for two reasons. My dad, uh, he told me very late in life that he used to read comics, because in those days, in his time, comics would be published as strips in newspapers. So he would read Phantom comics, and Phantom was his favorite hero. So I really want to, have an action figure or a statue or something, give one to him as a gift and keep one for myself. That's how much I love Phantom. I felt so bad for not coming to Stanley Supercon in 2019 and 2022. Now that I read your message, Khalid, I really feel sad, because in 2019 you could have met. Anyways, what happened happened. But Stanley Supercon 2019 and 2022 were amazing. Uh, okay, William, you got a friend request on Facebook from Mimo. School me on the shows you guys watched in Saudis. Did Kung Fu Theater ever made it to Saudi? Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan? Okay. William, here's the thing. There were some things that were available on VHS only. They weren't shown on TV. So Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and all their movies would be available on VHS, but they were never shown on TV. The only martial art uh, action hero whose movies were actually shown on Saudi TV was Jean Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport. And the only other Hollywood superstar whose movie would be shown on Saudi Channel 2 multiple times would be First Blood, Rambo, would be Sylvester Stallone's Lockup, and that is it. But the shows that you're talking about, we saw Green Hornet, we saw Equalizer, we saw Magnum PI, we saw Knight Rider, Airwolf, Hunter, Sledgehammer, Night. Even they used to show Night Court, which I am surprised was a pretty controversial show, but they would censor it, all the spicy stuff, and uh, that's the way it is. But David Carradine's Kung Fu series was shown for a good number of years. And The Man from Atlantis, if you remember that series, William. And yeah, I forgot Misfits of Science, Bionic Woman, The Fall Guy. There were shows that were shown on TV like X Files, ER, and more. Yeah, but those weren't shown on Saudi TV. They were shown on the satellite channels that we were having later in the 90s. I heard WWF fan base in Saudi was bigger, crazier. Oh, William Habibi, Hulk Hogan was actually flown to Dhahran in eastern Saudi Arabia to shoot a commercial for Mobil Oil. And he said it in Arabic. You know the key tagline? He said it in Arabic. Nasihatul batal, hazayt afdal. Yes, I have seen that myself. Okay, have you tried Marvel Spider-Man DLCs? Abu, I have to first get the game. Okay, they were on a channel called America Plus on cable TV. Orbit, yes, 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 yes. Orbit was a huge part in the 90s. Batman the Animated Series, we watched that. Animaniacs and Tiny Toons on Orbit. Mainly, I remember Indonesian martial art movies and Indian action movies, and of course, American movies, all on VHS. Yes, Mimo, you're right. Oh, yeah, WWF was the biggest. I still remember Hulk Hogan commercials. Yes. الزيت الأقوى. Yes. الزيت نصيحة الباطل has الزيت أقوى. Yes, you're right. You're right. زيت أفضل. I just said it wrong. I wish I knew you guys then. I would have sent everything over to you. uh, Still, William, let's be thankful that all of us are together here right now, and we are having a really awesome discussion. I'm really glad that I did this live broadcast. I've been having a lot of trouble lately in just, getting the time to be online for a live broadcast, but better late than never, like they say. Alhamdulillah. Uh, it's, nothing makes me happier than to be with my brothers and sisters from geekdom, from superhero geekdom, from superhero fan base. Alhamdulillah. We were blessed. We were blessed. Voltron hit Saudi, but mostly through, my God, Saad Ubaid. Welcome, man. Welcome. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, you want to see revival of Bionic 6? That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. Voltron was available here, William, but it was available on VHS. Voltron, I don't recall it being broadcasted on Saudi Channel 1 or Saudi Channel 2. Robotech, however, was an anime series that was broadcasted on Saudi Channel 2 and Saudi Channel 1. You know, on Saudi Channel 1, it was dubbed in Arabic. Did you ever play pinballs at the arcades back in the 90s and 2002? Bad pinball. Khalid, we play arcades were like a big thing, like you pointed it out. We would play arcade games. There was a very phenomenal WWE video game. I think it was about Royal Rumble. On arcades, we played so many others, like some of the games that were available on Atari. Some of them have been shown on Wreck-It Ralph. MBC is very late, Mimo. I'm talking, what I'm referring to is like in the 80s and 90s, Voltron was nowhere there. They need to make a crossover between Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks. Yes. I don't know what's happening with these characters because Super 7 is a company that's rolling out their toys and everything, but for some reason, nobody is making content about these three very important super teams. So to answer your question, Khalid, yes, we grew up in the arcades and we did play pinballs, but more importantly, we were more excited about the video games that were there. Arabic dubbed, yeah, yeah, MBC, yeah. At the time, MBC, Space Tune, things became much better. I need to learn Arabic. I heard the Arabic dubs for anime were fire. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Because even now, if you give me the choice to watch Eisenberg, which was known as a Rajal al Hadidi, Grandizer, Sansheru, aka Jomaro, the robot, Jongar, any of these anime series, if you give me the choice to watch them in Japanese with English subtitles or in English, I will say no. I want to watch them in Arabic because for some reason the Arabic language was able to capture the intensity of these characters. You know, still when I see that scene of Duke Fleet, you know, coming down and running towards his ship, and then when he says Grandizer Hentorek, you know, it just pumps my blood like crazy. Okay, Pilot Abu is asking, how was the new Venom movie? I know that was late, but just asking. The first Venom movie, Abu, was much better, but the second one, they just ruined it completely. Carnage, they didn't do justice with Carnage. They didn't do justice with Venom. It was, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And Venom 3, they are going to start shooting the movie next week. I hope, I hope they do a much better job. Whew. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Thanks to you guys. Each and every one of you. Mimo, Khalid, William, Pilot Abu, Saad, all of you guys, man. Oh, yes, I forgot about the SAG AFTRA strike. Thanks, Khalid, for reminding me about it. Yeah, SAG AFTRA is another problem. Well, not a problem. It's just, you know, studios abusing their powers and not giving the artists and the writers what they deserve. I think a lot of projects are gonna be getting delayed and stuff. Yes, yes, William, you heard it right. I also came across this news, but I haven't been able to follow the details. But if it goes to Universal, I think they might be doing a much better job with respect to DC, not only comics but also the DC studios, because Warner, for some reason, is not taking DC seriously. And I just personally believe that people like Jeff Johns need to play a more active role, and sadly, they haven't been able to do it. A lot of it has to do with the studio executives who are sitting at Warner Brothers. But if it goes to Universal, I think that would be good. Yeah, you're right, Mimo. It's being discussed, it's being complicated, but nothing is final in country. A lot of people hate this guy, man, David Zaslav. But I would add Bob Iger of Disney also along with him. He's not a movie guy, but he understands the characters. He understands the characters, and he is able he's in a position to explain it to movie directors and writers and all these people. And it's like yeah, yes, Universal still have the rights for Hulk. Yeah. So Jeff Johns is not a movie guy, but at least he can, basically give some guidance at least. I mean, I saw Blue Beetle. I didn't like it, man. I mean, I have, you joined in a bit late, but I was saying that I love the actor who has played Jaime Reyes. I love Blue Beetle, whether it's Jaime, whether it's Ted Cord, whether it's Dan Garrett. But the movie turned out to be about Jaime's family, his nana, his uncle, and he had a very small part to play in that. Why? The good thing about James Gunn's approach is that he knows how to incorporate the entire history of a particular superhero, just like he did in Guardians of the Galaxy. William, I think you need to start pitching for this seriously, man. And yes, Khalid, yeah, it might return, but again, it's just like you said, rumor. I don't know if Universal buys or DC or Warner Studios, how are they going to manage conflicting properties? Because I think that's going to be a bit of a legal problem, because of having Hulk on one side and then having the entire DC universe on the other. You're Mimo, you're talking about Jeff Johns, right? Stargirl, yes. So you can see for yourself. I mean, where Jeff Johns has more active say, if you will, not as a director, not as a producer, but as someone who is there to provide the guidance to people who are responsible for making movies and TV series. The quality improves significantly. All right, guys, I'll be now taking a break. I'll be calling it a day. It was wonderful talking to all of you. Uh, and I hope, inshallah, like Mimo has said, that we get to meet in person. That day comes soon. I'm planning to do a lot of things for the community, not only here, but also in Riyadh, in Shargiya, in Dubai, and so forth. So just remember me in your prayers that whatever I'm planning for the community, it materializes and I succeed, inshallah. Thank you, Pilot Abu. Basically, if I know that you guys had fun, khalas, mission accomplished for me. So thank you once again. And I'll be doing this more frequently. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do it. Uh, God bless you, Khalid. The pleasure is all mine. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I'm really glad that each and every one of you liked the live session. Just a request that since you guys enjoy my content, please share it. Please engage with my content, like it, comment on it, ask me a question. I'm here for you guys. It nothing gives me the satisfaction more than the fact that I am able to do something for my community. You guys are my community. You guys are my family. So, uh, Pilot Abu, I don't need claps. I just need you guys to have a great time through my content. You guys are there. You guys are watching. That's more than enough. Thank you, and inshallah, I'll be doing this more often. Thank you very much for taking out the time. God bless you guys, and see you soon. Allah ma'akum.